You put me here on this platform to tell the truth. Speak to me when I be speaking to the youth.
There are 7.99 billion people in the world right now. And for each person, 96% of their efforts towards personal development fail because they never created a habit to work towards their mindset. And a habit becomes easier if you make it easier to access. So by hitting the subscribe button, you'll not only be creating a habit to think better, perform on a higher level, and be more confident, it'll also mean the world to me by helping us make more valuable and life-changing content for the world. Hit the subscribe button.
Glad to have you in here, man. I'm not gonna lie. I really do appreciate it. I really do. Now, for starters, Clinton, I saw that you just came from the hospital, and I saw your recent testimony, man. It's pretty dope.
Oh, you on the
I saw your recent testimony, man. I had to see, man.
Yeah. I heard I said hospital. I said, oh.
Yeah.
No, that's just crazy. That whole concept, that whole situation, and it goes to show this has been a very interesting year. My sister always tells me when we're talking about the new year, new opportunities, a lot of people, they get excited for that. My sister's always been one, not real excitement, but it's a little bit of concern because she said, man, if we went through this year, imagine what next year holds. So we typically get excited about what's to come, and that's the positivity that we want to have. But reality, that next year could be yo hell yeah.
Yeah.
So that it's just funny how that was the top of the year. Like right before my birthday, I'm telling them I gotta go to Vegas for a wedding. My boy getting married. I'm telling everybody in the spot. I'm telling them in the hospital, hey, I got to figure this out. I need to go. It was like, Mr. Powell, we got other things. I said, you don't understand.
Yeah, we got to go. We got
to go. We got to be out. So, but nah, God is good, man. God is good. Went in there. That was crazy. I drove myself.
You drove yourself?
Yeah.
Even after everything, like, give me some context to everything. I read the description.
So the context was, the context is about 10 years ago, I developed some type of DVT in my left leg, which is another name for a blood clot. But clear, no problem. I still have slight swelling in my left leg. So I was checking it, and my wife had said, babe, just go see what it is. Maybe it's something. So I went to check it out, and they said, okay, well, we don't see why. So let's do a procedure to go into your veins in your crotch. And then, oh, no, appreciate it. And then let's see if we see any type of blockage or anything to that nature. So they did a procedure, and I remember being awake at the procedure, and I remember hearing the doctor saying, oh, man, long story short, instead of dealing with the left leg, the veins in my right leg, she said it was blocked. So they installed 2 stents.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, so
what
that's random.
What is a stent?
So a stent is used to open up your veins to allow blood flow.
Okay.
So it's a mechanical device. It's pretty much, it's like if this stent goes in this and then it opens up the veins like that. So that was in December. Maybe 2-3 weeks later, I remember walking into the gym and I felt a pain in my crotch. So I started stretching. I said,
it's not going away.
Yeah. And so, Black men, sometimes Caribbean men, we just deal with the pain. The pain, I thought it was something with my lower back because it was a similar area. Didn't go away. Then I saw my right leg started to swell. That can't be. Over time, this is probably in the span of a week because I was scheduled to see the doctor for a follow-up.
And that was all at the start of the year, right?
Yeah, all at the start of the year. I was scheduled to see the doctor for a follow-up. And I said, I'll just wait until the doctor because I'm going to see her. Man, 2 days. It was going into the weekend. Maybe that Sunday, I'm at church trying to walk and it's paining me to walk. Then I get back that Sunday. My right leg is swollen like a balloon.
Like it's all one. Like you can't really tell between thigh, knee, and calf.
Yeah, it was super tight to touch. You know how that pressure of a balloon.
Yeah,
it was super tight. I'm still waiting. let me go to the doctor. And then I remember waking up, maybe it was Monday into Tuesday. I remember going to use the restroom, and I heard the Holy Spirit say, "Go to the doctor now."
Mm.
So
Mm.
I touched my wife. I say, "I'm going to the emergency. You want me to come with you?" I said, "Nah, you got the kids. They got school tomorrow. I'll just drive myself." She's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm just driving myself. I could drive." So I drove myself to the ER. Then I did the ultrasound. They're not supposed to tell you certain things, but I just have favor. I was just praying, and I said, "God, just give me favor while I'm in the hospital." So I went to see to do the ultrasound. She gave me a heads up. Hey, yeah, you got a blood clot.
Really?
Yeah.
And usually they wouldn't tell you that
No,
right out the
because
gate?
they're not supposed to tell you because it's all of that information. It's based on interpretation, right? So the doctor is supposed to interpret that information
Got
for
you.
you, and that is, that's that privacy, the HIPAA, and all that kind of relation. But I was prodding. She didn't really answer me. She said she gave me that look.
Yeah, it's
And-
like it's serious.
Yeah,
It's serious.
and then the doctor on call came in there, and then they was talking in front of me. So they had me do another ultrasound, which was a different, kind of like a CAT scan. They put my whole body in, gave me some fluid,
Mm.
and I just happened to be, when I walked in there, I was wearing this brand, which is Fly Supply. This is my boy's brand, and she said, "Hey, that's Fly Supply." I had a hat on my face. She said, "That's Fly Supply."
Okay.
I said, "Yeah." You know Reggie? I said, "Yeah, Reggie's family."
Mm.
Then at that point, she
So that's when you
proceeded.
got you. Yeah, that's when.
Oh man, he's family. She told everybody, "Hey man, he's family. Whatever Clint needs, we gonna take care of him."
yeah.
So I just, God
dope.
continued to bring me relation. When I got to the floor, man, the church I was pastoring, one of the nurses happened to come in here. Pastor Clinton? Yeah. So it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Throughout my whole stay, God was aligning
Yeah.
different people to really look out and to, really, really go in for me. So it
Like
was
welcome
dope.
you and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So-
dope.
That's dope, man. So I got a specific question that I want to ask you.
Mhm. You got enough light on me? I'm a dark brother now. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't even started recording yet? Okay.
No, I did.
Okay.
did.
Oh.
We pretty much live, my guy.
It's conversational. I got it.
Yeah, it's conversational, man. So we're pretty much live with everything.
Mhm.
But I wanted to ask you, like, you had a powerful you had a powerful testimony. Many times when people go through that, their mindset kind of shifts. But you went through that, and you still drove yourself. You said it was to one of your friend's wedding and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it was in Vegas. So afterwards, we went to Vegas to to go to the wedding.
Wow.
I checked out. I was telling them, man, when was that flight? I want to say maybe the flight was Friday. And I got released maybe 24 hours before the flight. I can't remember the exact, maybe 24 hours, 48 hours. But I do know I hopped on that plane and I said, I got to make it to my boy's wedding.
Mm.
So, you see, in those situations, you have a choice.
Mm.
You can either continue to fight or you can kind of give up. And it's all a mental thing.
Yeah.
When you in a hospital bed like that, everything goes through your mind. It got surreal to me because when they first checked, when I first got in, my doctor who put the stent came. She gave me some options. She said the first thing we're gonna try to do, hey, we're gonna try to open the stent again, clear it out, see what's going on. And so you're not 100% sedated. So you're hearing the conversation. It was crazy.
While they was
Because it's local anesthesia. Because it's not considered a surgery. It's considered a procedure, which is the.
so you was awake.
I was awake. They gave me some pain meds just in case, but I was awake. I'm listening. So literally, it was 3 times they went in on me.
Really?
The first time to try to fix. The second time was to go with the plan of action that they decided that they was going to go with.
Mhm.
And then the third time was to verify if the second time worked or if they needed to do another procedure.
Yeah.
So the conversation entailed when I went with the plan, okay, this is what we want to do. We're going to try to clean it out. If we can't clean it out, we're going to do X, Y, Z. That didn't really go according to plan in the second time. So they said, okay, the third element was we're going to put some medication in your body that's going to feed directly to the clot. So literally from my neck all the way down, they had a thin needle that was going through my groin to go all the way down.
Wow.
So at that point, they put me in ICU because of the sensitivity. So they upgraded me to be in ICU. And the prognosis was, okay, the medication should dissolve the clot enough that nothing should be needed. That was the best option. They couldn't remove stents because once you put the stent in, that's it. You can't remove a stent. The possibility of removing the stent, your vessel could burst and then you could die. So I said, we definitely not doing that option. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then it was, let's try to clean it out. But in the process of this, everyone has one singular vein, that main vein of the body that goes through the groin that feeds everything.
Oh, that's the one that they got you.
Yeah. Me, I'm a part of 10%. I had a dual vein. Didn't know that.
That's God right there.
Right?
Yo.
So didn't know that. And also what I found out, over time, this happened. And this is God. So I have two veins. But when that stent was installed, or no, let me correct. So I had some blood flow issues for years that I wasn't aware. My body created a third vein. So literally I had 3
in that
area. So 10% has 2, but a third one generated. So
part of
when
1%, man.
Yeah, it's
1%.
crazy. So when she drew me the picture, she said, so what happened when that she put in the stent, that one closed, and that third vein wasn't really getting a lot of blood. So literally she went in, she was able to divert it, and pretty much I still have the 2 veins because that third one was giving me, and that just got larger. So recently, as far as actually this week, I went to get another ultrasound just to check to see exactly where it is. A-okay.
So you got to have a strong mental to go through all that, to be in ICU, to do all that and still muster up the ability to say, hey, I'm gonna drive and still celebrate and still live life. Like how, like, I want to backtrack a little bit. Did you always have that strong of a mental? And I do want to get into, you being a coach and things of that nature. Like, did you always see yourself having that strong mindset growing up? Like, how was that for you growing up?
I think being Caribbean on some level contributes to a strong mindset, right? Because the circumstances of a Caribbean, and this is not a slight to any other culture, the African American culture, all that stuff. It's just, if you are willing to leave your homeland to achieve something more that's not guaranteed, that's a certain type of mindset that you need. Yeah. Because I would say 80% of the Caribbean never leave their island.
You said 80%?
I would say 80%. Just many people who from the islands, they don't leave. It's a small percentage that actually leave. And what they're leaving for is a better opportunity. So I said it to say my father, which I'm a junior, my parents are from St. Kitts. He heard about an opportunity in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. So him, my mom, and my 2 brothers, they moved to St. Thomas. I was born. He heard about another opportunity in the U.S. He took me, my 2 brothers, but guess what? He went by himself first. So he left the family in St. Thomas, moved up to the States, found a job, found an apartment. I think he was there maybe 3 months by himself, 3 to 6 months, anywhere between, I can't recall. And then he went back to bring his family. That mindset was passed down to me. That ability to see the possibility of greater. That's a strong mindset. That's a mindset that you're not settling. That's a mindset that you're always searching for more. The reason why some people struggle because they get comfortable and settle. You can't get comfortable and settle. You always have to be looking for more. Now, here's the biblical element of that. You have to be always wanting more, but learn how to be content in your wanting more, which seems as 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. How can you want more but be content? You be content because you trust in God in the process. Yeah. God, I'm in this season. You know my desires, but I'm in this season for a reason. So I'm trusting you and I'm being content with the knowing that I won't be here forever.
Yeah, because you're still putting in the work to do certain things to get to that next level. You're still putting in the work.
Correct.
And you have the faith, even though things are not yet seen.
Yeah, 100%.
Got you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, because something that I've noticed within, people from the Caribbean and things of that nature, when they come over, they do have that strong mindset because they've done that. They're part of the 20%, if not the 1%, 5%, 10%, whatever you want to label that. But I have seen the difference between those bunch that has a survival mindset versus a mindset on wanting to live and prosper.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is the difference based off of what I'm saying right now?
Well, the survival and the live and prosper, I think that can contribute to your society and to your environment.
Yeah.
So what gets you to your new destination is not going to necessarily keep you there.
Mm-hmm.
So you will constantly be influenced. So some people, they made it to the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. I don't want to do anything else. They made it to the promised land. But look at the children of Israel. Some of the tribes, out of 12 tribes, they lived in the promised land differently because their mindset was different. Their clan represented a personality trait too.
Yeah.
So you can make it to the promised land, but you could decide, do I want to be a pauper in the promised land or do I want to be royalty in the promised land? They both achieve the promise.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the mindset once you get there? And I think the contributing factor for that is your surroundings, your environment. If they say, show me the 5 people that surround you, I'll show you a future. I think that's very true. Mm-hmm. So the survival mindset is, if you're constantly around people who are just in survival mode, you're going to be a survivalist.
So what does I want to understand your perspective on survival mindset, because I've experienced or seen what that looks like, but I don't know what that looks like for you, and I want to share the perspectives.
For me, that can mean different things depending on the individual.
Gotcha.
But a survival mindset can mean that you're maintaining, or survival mindset means that you're always looking how to survive instead of actually living.
Yeah. From what I've seen is people always want to know how can they save to keep that contentness of where they're at, versus the living mindset is, you're maintaining, but you're figuring out how can you get to that next step? How can you grow? Mm-hmm. How can you play with some risk factors, understanding the cost and, the push and pull between that to get to that next level? Yeah. Like I've seen it and, it with my parents where they're here. They if I'm being honest, they're at a point where they're like, they made it. They came. Nice. They came from a place where Port-au-Prince, when it was bad at the time, they came here. They got to a point where they can be able to pass down a house or two to us. So, but then we're at this point where they brought us here. Now we have that perspective, that mindset on, hey, we want more than this. We want more than what they got. We see the potential beyond what they see. And I want to help them not look at the nickels and dimes and saving for the bills. And how can we see what we have and 10X that? Yeah. It's hard to shift them from that mindset where they're content, they don't want to do anything, to like, hey, there's still more for us to do. And that can put you guys in a better position where you guys don't have to work anymore. You guys don't have to do this anymore.
And this is the perspective that you're sharing with your parents. Yeah. You want them to do more.
I want them to do more. Like,
how old are they?
My father is 52 and my mother is 50. They're super young. Yeah. And it's like my father still works at American Airlines. Don't get me wrong. He's making top pay. He's making good money. But I want them to retire by 55 because we have so much opportunity, from how much equity they have in their house to what you can do with that. Like I was telling you, I'm in real estate. I know how to push and pull. So it's like, I'm seeing my dad injure himself. Like he had a similar knee injury. He was in a hospital. He fractured some parts in his knee. I'm like, yo, you're working too hard. You can put yourself in change your mindset. It's to the point where I even started doing family meetings. That's why I want to. Yeah. I hear that. That's why I've gone to the point where it's like, I created this platform to share the difference in mindsets, from a survival mindset to a mindset on living or prospering, or what I like to call fixed mindset and growth mindset.
Well, so you have to understand too, generational times. So right now you still have traditionalists, baby boomers are still alive. Yeah. Traditionalists, they're fading out quickly. So you said traditionalists? Yes, traditionalists.
I never heard that term before.
So if you look at the generational, how they're broken down, there's always plus or minus 5 to 10 years depending on the resource that you're looking at. But a lot of the traditionalists, they're talking about they're coming from the Great Depression. Those who are still living from the Great Depression, and then what was that experience? Now you see them with our grandparents. They don't throw anything away. They reuse everything because that mindset of that experience shows that, hey, I can't afford to throw this stuff away. I'm going to reuse it 1,000,000 times. Then the baby boomers were the working class. That's when during World War II, women went into the shift for the economy. Men were out fighting the war. Women started going into the factories. That was the pivotal point that really introduced women into the workforce because they didn't have anyone else to do it. And the kids were too small. If you're 17 and 18, you out fighting.
Yeah.
So who's going to be making these guns? Who's going to be making these things? So women enter the workforce in droves. So baby boomers, what they do is work. You're asking your parents to do something they have no clue what to do outside of work. So that is tough.
Yeah, that's
my
true.
my dad, he's older. My dad is going to be, I think, 66 this year. We have come to grips. My dad would never stop working. We've accepted it.
No matter what, even if he retires from his job, he's gonna get another job.
He's gonna get he's an entrepreneur. So he's just gonna reduce. He has an automotive and auto body shop. So he's phased out of mechanics. He don't do it too much because of the fatigue. He's been working since he was 13, 14.
On cars.
Wow. Right?
Same as my father,
Yeah. So you're telling them to do something that's innate to them. Baby boomers, because remember, the whole college phase didn't really start heavy until, this is so deep. Some theories, the reason this American dream came about, it was another way for the American culture to make money. Remember, banks, what is the number one asset for a bank? What does the bank want you to do? Buy a house.
Yeah. To capitalize on the debt, on the interest, and pretty much if it's not a house, if it's your credit card debt, to dig you in a hole where they're just making money off of that
but
debt.
not even that deep. But that is true because you could mismanage it.
Yeah.
But why is it the American dream is what? To a house, white picket fence, 2.5 kids.
Yeah.
They want you to be a part of the system. That education really in the 70s really started growing because they want you to go to school, because the manufacturing society really got big. Because before you didn't need degrees because we were an industrial organization or government. Society rather. So just go to work in a factory. But education now, so all that stuff is a big circle.
Factory, college, everything.
Everything,
it
feeds the flywheel. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're going against the grain.
Yeah.
Because you're saying, I don't need to go to school. If I don't go to school, that means I don't have school debt. If I don't have school debt, then I have more liquid cash to do different things with. Yeah. They want you to do all that stuff. Why? Because they want you to be comfortable with a 9-to-5. There is nothing wrong with a 9-to-5 because everybody can't be an entrepreneur. So this is a little segue. All the little social media gurus that everybody should be an entrepreneur, that's a lie from the pit of hell. Because everybody doesn't have the capacity, everybody doesn't have the mindset, and everybody doesn't have the guts.
Yeah. So how do you differentiate? Because what I'm doing right now is I'm creating a community that for the people that are committed to that journey.
The entrepreneurship journey?
The entrepreneurship journey. It's free community, things of that nature, where it's people there, we just network, have conversations like these every day, like at a scheduled time where we do that type of stuff. But that's real what you're saying, how not people are cut for that type of stuff because they can't get out of, or they can't get into being risky or tapping into that risk factor.
So it's hard. I still have a 9-to-5 and I'm still an entrepreneur. I use the 9-to-5 to fund my dreams.
Yeah.
So, and I have a friend of mine's, her entrepreneurship journey included purchasing franchises. So we both work for the same company and she just announced that she's leaving the company. I've been having a conversation, man, why are you still here? Because you're doing so much. She says this, she said, Clint, it's free money. Why am I walking away with free money? I'm doing a job in my 9-to-5 that I love.
You want to know what I heard on that idea? It's like people talk about creating streams of income. And as
daunting or as how irritating some 9-to-5s can be, because I get the frustration and how it can, take a toll on somebody's personalities, dreams, and aspirations. But somebody said this. They was like, hey, if you have a real estate property, if you have a 9-to-5, if you have this, why would you take out that stream of income without replacing it?
100%.
Yeah.
So it comes to a point though. You're gonna come to a decision point. Is your 9-to-5 holding you back?
Yes, whether it's time, money. Yes.
Time, money. So you have to ask yourself that question. There's going to be opportunity. For example, one of my friends who started this brand, which is Fly Supply, is 4 partners. He was the last one to go full time. Everybody has jumped out, but he was making that good money in his 9-to-5. He said, man, I don't know. Shout out to my boy G, right?
He said, it's free
so
money.
It's free money out here. And he enjoyed it. But here's the thing. He had to take a step because the company was growing to that point that the partners needed him to go all in. So there's always going to be a point if you're really growing. Now, the reality of the fact is, and I say this respectfully, that many of us who have an entrepreneurship desire, sometimes we have a hustle and not an actual business on the side. So it may take them longer, or they may never see that realization to actually get to that point. Because if you're not focused on growing whatever that endeavor is, you're not going to see that reflection point, that decision point. That's why some people stay a little bit longer on their 9-to-5, kind of grow the frustration. But this is a realization that I recently came to be with. I built my company for 18 years, right? Out of those 18 years, I was always trying to exit.
Yeah.
I still have the tenacity to keep growing within the company, went through management, the whole 9 yards. But if you're listening here and you have a 9-to-5, I want you to understand this. Don't treat your 9-to-5 as a stepchild. Really go hard on your 9-to-5. It's going to take bandwidth because you need to go hard on both. But take advantage of your 9-to-5 because when you are not focusing on your 9-to-5, you're not growing. Because that's an opportune environment for you to grow. And the skill set that you're learning with these 9-to-5, you could translate to your business.
Yeah, I feel like most people, they don't treat it in that way because of that frustration they have, or it's ego involved, or it's pride involved. They don't want to be directed. But here's the thing. So that's I'm also do leadership coaching. That's an internal struggle that you're going to have to deal with, because if you cannot be led, how can you lead? Leadership is all about serving. So if you're getting frustrated because nobody can tell me what to do, I'm tired of my boss, but you want to be an entrepreneur. True entrepreneur, not self-employed. Self-employed is just you. Yeah. But if you want to be a true entrepreneur, a small business owner that you're going to actually grow with employees, how do you think your employees are going to treat you? See, people, we have to understand the whole entire spectrum. It can go full circle, and now you're going to have to deal with that.
It will go full circle, and the same frustration, you should have been paying attention. Yeah. You should have been learning in those situations.
You should have been learning what not to do that got you to that point, and as far as why you're feeling the way you do.
100. And then a lot of times, we get the wrong jobs.
Talk about that again.
For example, when I talked, when I was doing youth pastoring, I was engaged with a lot of young people, and they would tell me, I want to be, let's take it easy. I want to be in the music industry. Okay, cool. But you work at Starbucks.
Yeah.
I wanted to sink in. I want to be in a specific industry, but your 9-to-5 is not even a related industry. That's why you're frustrated. That's why you're not getting what you're supposed to get, because you're working outside of the industry. So whatever industry that you want to be in, you need to find yourself in that industry. It may not be doing exactly what you want to do, but at least it's related experience that you could translate. So if I tell everyone that comes to me that say they want to be an entrepreneur, okay, great. I don't want to go to school, which I think is wrong, my personal opinion. Secondary education is needed. It helps you expedite the path to wealth more than anything else. The time it takes you to figure things out all by yourself it takes a long time. You could do that. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to go to a 4-year, but education is different now. You could do certification programs. You could do coaching programs. You could do.
So take a different route within education, not just college, 2 years, AA.
No,
get a certification. Like
you need to get something. Somebody need to teach you.
Yeah,
somebody need to teach you.
I like that because speaking on my situation, because I dropped out of college because it wasn't intentional, because I wanted to do 4 years. I was en route to crushing it. Things happened. Coach took money because I was on an athletic scholarship. Coach took money that he wasn't supposed to. Came back down. Fell out of college, but then I realized I still wanted that more. I was doing real estate, and then it got to a point where I got that certification, where I got my real estate license. And then once that happened, it caused me to have new experiences where I'm being taught by these different mentors that are teaching me these things like journaling, being an entrepreneur, creating your own business. And I never had that shit without even taking that certification. Yeah. Sometimes people can stunt their growth because they don't do that.
Yeah, 100%. But for example, I'm a big component of, especially young people. There are so many community colleges that offer entrepreneurship certifications.
Okay, yeah.
How can you do something that you've never done before? Never. What happens is we're looking on social media, we're looking at these people, idolizing them, and okay, let's go ahead and do it. I don't like to waste time. I'm sorry. Time is money.
Yeah.
So I'm not for it.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with a young adult recently, and I was encouraging them, you still got to learn. Where you think you're going to get this knowledge from? You still have to learn. And, oh man, the preparation is not there. And the mentor, for example, okay, I got an adult mentor. Mentor is not going to teach you. That's not the role of a mentor. The role of a mentor, hey, I'm giving you breadcrumbs. I'm giving you a path to follow because of my experiences, and I'm going to make you some connections. That's the role of a mentor. Reality of the fact. So if someone goes above and beyond that, that's great. But also that mentor, it's they're not checking in on you. You got to check on the mentor, because the mentor is there to answer your questions when you have them.
Oh,
they're not supposed to be. Yeah, they're not walking you. No, that's not it. And the coach, the difference between the coach and the mentor, the coach, here's one thing: the coach doesn't have to have experience or been where you want to go. That's not the role of a coach. How many professional coaches that you know were actually successful in playing the game? Phil Jackson, was he successful like that? How many rings did Phil Jackson make playing the game versus the coaching?
Yeah.
So the coach is the ability to discover the greatness in you, knowing what are the right questions to ask you in order to take you to that next level.
Yo, that's real, because I'm seeing that in some of the people within my environment. Like, shout out to this guy, Clifton Miller. I went to high school with him. He star football player in high school. Well, I'm going to start over. Shout out to Clifton Miller, because he was a star player in Miramar High School. He was a running back, things of that nature. I thought he was going to go to the league, go to college, commit, go all the way. But then he stepped back and he became a coach. But me seeing him fall in love with it and coach these other kids, like one of his mentees, one of the people that went through his coaching program, just signed to what it was, the Bears or the Browns.
Nice. Congrats to
and
him.
I'm like, yo, I see the difference between a coach seeing somebody else's greatness, and they don't have to be in that field.
They don't have to be in that field.
Yeah.
I can coach you to be the best version of you.
Wow.
I've never been where you are. Now, if you have that experience, it adds some color, right? But it's not a prerequisite.
It's not needed.
It's not a prerequisite. So, for example, the young lady, the brokerage manager,
Yeah.
she can serve as your mentor.
Yeah.
She's going to give you the breadcrumbs. This is what I've done to build that,
Yeah.
but not necessarily coach you. You see the difference?
Yeah.
So we get this mixed up. So we have to be very, very cognizant and understanding that wherever we want to go, you need mentors, you need coaches, but you also need education. Those are 3 pillars: mentor, coach, and education. Many times, the average person doesn't have a coach. I know that for a fact. And they waste a lot of time.
Yeah.
Waste a lot of time. Then you have, depending on the generation, I can educate myself, but you're limiting yourself because you only can learn so much from YouTube, depending on the industry that you're in. If you're talking about coding, yeah, you could go on YouTube and learn how to code, right? And depending on the
Yeah.
industry, this is not a blanket statement
Yeah.
for every industry.
So tell me, what does education look like? Because when you said it, I took education as you just have to get some type of education that's going to give you or put you on that journey. Like what I'm doing right now, what my passion is teaching, coaching. Like I'm a business mindset coach. But the route that I took in my certification, I got my real estate license, but it led me on a path and understanding and building habits to then make me do a full circle where now I'm walking in my passion, now learning things that I learned in that certification.
All right. So you say
yeah.
you're a business mindset
mindset coach. Yeah.
And you said when you got your certification, what does that mean?
As a real estate, I got my real estate license. I went through.
Okay.
I went to school. I did prerequisites, certain amount of hours within the course. I took a course test and a state test. So it was pretty much like some form of education, like as if you were going to be a plumber,
absolutely.
electrician, stuff like
100%
that.
understand. So what area of business do you coach?
What business is? Any industry. It's really on the mindset, building the habits and systems and structures to help people scale and build the systems that they need. That's pretty much it. So I have the mindset where I can look at somebody else's business. I learned some foundational structures where I can, hey, this is what you're missing to get you to that next level. Because I'm all about scaling and optimizing. So that's kind of where I fit in on that aspect.
So scaling and optimizing.
Scaling and optimizing, yes.
So you've heard of this concept of the term ideal customer.
Yeah.
Who would your ideal customer be?
My ideal customer is somebody between 25 and 34. They have some form of education, whether bachelor's or high school diploma. They have they're in the middle class job they work a middle class job or they're in the middle class, and they have this sense of they have the finances to put towards extra education or personal development because that's what they value. That's what their values are. So that's what my ideal customer is. Okay. And it's primarily steered towards males, but of course there are those outliers.
The outliers
like
that come and follow.
Yeah.
So if you're a mindset coach, because you said business coach.
Yeah, business mindset coach.
So if you say business mindset, so in that title, you are niching down already, right? Because you can say mindset, anybody can use a mindset, but you're saying business. Yeah. So now you segmented yourself, which is awesome, but now you still in the sea of wideness.
Yeah.
So what type of, if I was to give you a suggestion, right? It doesn't have to stay like this forever, but your most expertise is what? In real estate. So when you say business mindset, you may attract everybody, but everybody may not fit your ideal. But based on your expertise in the real estate, if you was to say, hey, I'm a real estate mindset, or I am a broker mindset, or figure out a niche within real estate to help you narrow it down, you can be closer. Because what tends to happen in coaching? Yeah, we go fishing with the net instead of a fishing pole. Do you understand the difference?
Yeah. Fishing now, you catch anything, everything, crabs, fish,
everything. So right now, you just have a smaller net instead of a fishing pole. So now what happens is you say your business mindset. It's so many different businesses. And I understand what you're saying, because business principles are business principles.
So would you say I'm a regular business coach, but I'm a business coach and I'm a mindset coach? Would I segment it like that? Or
I would narrow down to a specific segment of business. I wouldn't even say a business coach. I would say whatever the passion point is. I hear you talking about real estate, right? But I also hear you talking about, you have a passion, start a community for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So which is the heavier burden for you, right? Not the burden, but which is the more passion point? The community. Because if you're doing the community, and if entrepreneurs are still wide. And here's the thing. Listen, I have a summit coming up, right? Yeah. So it's July 13th, and the summit is for coaches, speakers, and entrepreneurs. But the reason why I put coaches and speakers in there, because I identified 2 of the entrepreneurs that I definitely want to speak to. If I would have just said entrepreneurs, you would still question, is this event for me? Because I'm not specifically calling you out. As an entrepreneur, what does that mean? Do you do online sales? Do you do what type of entrepreneur? Do you do retail? That's a wide seat. You did a great job because you segmented people who have a desire, passion, working for themselves, or have some type of industry. Okay, so maybe that's 30% of the 100 that you narrow down. Okay. But 30% is still a lot.
Yeah. Still a couple million. So
you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is the reason why a lot of coaches still have issues relating, and securing clients because the client doesn't know that you're talking to him. Does that make sense? The client doesn't know. So the average coach has frustration with client acquisition because they have no idea how to get the clients. So when you can preach all day, I'm a business mindset, business mindset. The people that will really catch you are the 1% that's really looking for you. That's like really looking for you. Remember, everybody's not a part of the 1%. Your clientele is not a part of the 1% yet.
Yeah.
It's 1% for a reason.
Yeah. And
I'm not a part of it. You're not a part of it. The 1%, you're talking about the top earners in the country. So there's different levels to this. So you have to speak to the level that you're on.
Oh, okay. I see.
You follow what I'm saying? You have to speak to the level you're on. So if you're targeting 25 to 34, how old are you?
I'm 23.
23. So you're targeting a demographic that's older than you.
Yeah.
Which is tough.
Yeah.
You didn't say 23, you said 24.
Yeah.
So you already put yourself outside of that. Now, okay, remove the age. How can I validate your coaching voice? You're not, because this is what people look at. People are going to look at, what is your coaching authority? Why should I trust you? So now you have to say, okay, my age, remove the age. So now I have to pull on what? Your coaching voice. What is your coaching voice made up of? Is your experience, your passion, and your purpose. You put those three together. Now your experiences, again, what I'm hearing, majority of your experiences in the real estate industry. Now, what area? You say you was a realtor?
I was a realtor.
What else did you do in that space?
I bought my own investment property.
Investment. So you dabbled into investment. What else have you done?
That's pretty much it.
So
I taught classes too.
You taught classes. What type of classes? What's the nature of the classes?
Building your database, building your circle.
Building your circle. But all the thing is about generating leads for real estate.
Generating lead sales.
Okay, like so what if I tell you, hey, you need to focus on changing the mindset of realtors who are either just starting, because even if you're a realtor, you have your aspiring realtor, I want to just start. Then you have those who are real estate or realtor been for 5 years, and those who are 5+. Now, say there's typically, let's use the differentiating factor to household. 0 household, 25, and then plus 25.
Yeah.
Who would you be able to speak to? 0, who sold up to 25, or who you sold more than 25?
0 to 25.
0 to 25.
Yeah.
You see how I'm helping you narrow it down. Yeah. So now that 0 to 25, you can speak directly to them because you could call them out.
But what if you don't want to deal with anything to do with being a realtor?
Okay, great.
Because that, I hold a lot of resentment towards being a realtor.
So I'm going to tell you the same thing my coach told me, or one of my coaches told me. I have experience in fashion. I have experience in music. I'm an engineer by trade, right? I have experience in the faith space, dealing with volunteers, so many different things I could pull on.
Yeah.
So when I was going, and I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and he said to me, tell me, I told him exactly, oh, okay, how many years you have with that? All right. Music, 3 years. Fashion, about 4 to 5. Engineering at that time, say 15. Faith ministry, say 10. Automatically the most experience, because here's the thing with coaching, and this is the reason why it's so important. The reason coaching has a negative connotation in today's world is people are trying to coach with something they have no experience about.
Yeah.
That's number one. So he automatically went to the 15. Oh, you had the most experience with 15, but I don't want to do another one engineering.
Yeah.
All right. So then you're gonna go to the faith because you was in ministry for 10 years. I don't know if I want to do that either. Right? Yeah. So what do? You have to be willing to do the work to do a hard reset. Yeah. Meaning start from scratch.
Yeah.
So here's the element that you have to do. You have to gain your experience while you are building your brand, and you can't make the same promises that someone who's been in the field for 15 years. So now you have to talk about mindset. The only thing that you could really pull from is your experience as a realtor. I would suggest you look at the mindset challenges that you experience. Look at your time. You say you had some resentment, right? Look at the time when you was a realtor. What are some of the things that you had to overcome? How did you overcome them? What was plaguing in your mind? I would venture to say some of those things they're probably translatable to other industries.
And that's where I pretty much fall into, like the
So
time
if-
management, the mindset, fixed to growth mindset, the confidence, the ability to communicate, manage finances and money,
Great.
things of that nature. So it's pretty much those foundational systems. But as I progress in there, and now it's going to scale and get to the advanced level. Now it's niche down. Well, it's still going to be in those same field, but it's just the information is going to be more detailed and high level to the point
Great.
where yeah.
Because here's the thing. When I say to niche down to realtors, did I say that you are a realtor?
Mm-mm.
Did I say you're selling houses?
Mm-mm.
No. I just told you a market that you could reach out to and sell to. That's what niching down is. It's not saying that you're in the market. It's who do you want to target based on your expertise. Now you build up enough coaching authority. Now you can broaden that and you can shift, because now you can have testimonials of people that you actually helped with that mindset shift, right? Now you can expand it, but it's harder. I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm just saying it takes a longer time to develop your coaching authority, because you're working from zero, a hard reset. And what the fix is, you know who you want, but business, I'm just saying, and you can do the research, business is broad. It's still too broad.
Yeah.
Like, who are you talking to when you say business? Now, a Grant Cardone, let's look at Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone, his meat and potatoes is the real estate space. Real estate, period. Invest in the real estate space. That's his meat and potatoes. But he built such an authority there that he's moved over to what? He's moved into speaking.
Yeah.
He built such an authority in the real estate, he moved into business. Now he talks about, because he's proven himself in the real estate. Now remember when he did Undercover Boss?
Was it
Undercover Boss or
Undercover Billionaire?
Undercover Billionaire?
Yeah.
That's business now, because he built the credibility. He showed how he did it with the real estate side. He showed how he did it with investment. That qualified him to even be on that show, because it wasn't talking to a specific group. It was talking about they gave him, I think, $1,000, how to make money, blah, blah, blah.
How to make $1 million within 60 days.
60 days, something like that. He was able to do that because all of the authority that he established in that one segment. What we tend to do when we're first launching, we have too much of a bigger picture, and then we're feeling frustrated because we're not getting the results that we think, because we're not taking the time to really utilize. Again, you could do a hard reset.
Yeah.
You could absolutely do a hard reset. Just know what you could have accomplished in 6 months when you speak into realtors, because you know their passion, you know their mindset. So you can use that to shift their mindset. Now you're not using that. So now you're trying to literally fish. You're trying to fish to get anybody to catch on, because again, you're not speaking to a specific group. If you make a post right now and somebody doesn't know you, I am a business mindset. That's like saying I'm a leadership coach. What does that mean?
Yeah,
right? What do you mean I'm a leadership coach? And I'm speaking from experience. In 2019, when I started coaching, I put it all on Facebook. I put it everywhere.
I'm a leadership coach.
I'm a leadership coach. Leadership of what? Do you know there's so many elements of leadership? Team building, communication, quality control, right? I could go on and on. How to team development, training. You could go into empowerment, meaning how to rejuvenate, how to create vision, how to execute a plan, organizational leadership. You see all those things right there? Because once I identify, I'm a communications coach and I help nonprofit leaders XYZ. What did I do? I niched it down to the point. I'm speaking communication and I'm trying to help nonprofit leaders. There's no misunderstanding who do I serve. I can find them. There's databases. You could go on Facebook and create a group right now. All my nonprofit leaders, hey, I just created a free group. You are calling them out by name. But when you say business coach, you are calling everybody, hey guys, and nobody's answering because they don't know if you're talking to them or not. Hopefully that was helpful.
That's big. I like that. I
right?
like that.
So that's the element of what I do, and I help coaches to identify that.
So would I like brand myself as, hey, I'm a real estate business coach?
No,
like,
you can
Like I'm for realtors. Like,
No, so
because I don't want to go out.
Correct. So great question. So you have to, and now I'm plugging it because I don't do anything without AI now.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Love
to
AI. Love AI.
I don't even know how I thought before AI.
Bro, it helps. This is like, yo, yeah, because it helps you muster everything about that. And like, yo, okay, I know that, I mastered that. Now you can conceptualize it faster than just brainstorming, writing it on the wall. I get it, bro.
Yeah. So you still consider yourself a mindset coach, right? So a lot of times, listen, you will have some gurus tell you there's bigness in your name. Your name should describe who you are immediately. Like you said, business coach. That's what you were trying to do. You were trying to let people know who you are in your name. I get it. Sometimes it's not that clean, right? It's not that simple. But what I would suggest, if you still want to consider you consider yourself a mindset coach, in your I help statement, you clarify who you're talking to. So your I help statement is like your elevator pitch. Who are you, right? I help who? Who do I help? I help realtors. Again, I'm just using that word because if we was to do a session, I would do a brainstorming session about the real estate industry. Who are the parties? Give me the different elements of the real estate industry, because I may not just focus on realtors. I may focus on something on the industry that pertains to mindset, and I could pull that out.
I would say commission-based professionals.
Oh, there you go. Now, commission-based professionals, what does that mean to you? That can include who? Sales agents. That can include realtors. That
can include
MLM people.
Yeah.
That includes
stylists, because they make a commission from when they do somebody's hair. Yeah.
So you could go along that line, but then again, you don't want to go use that as an excuse to still be too broad. Commission based.
That's the broad.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, but you're aligning yourself. You're going down the right path.
Yeah.
So you could use the term commission based, but you have to define it, right? Because the commission based, like you could sum that up to in the sentence. Oh yeah, anyone who's a commission based. For example, when I do a call to action, I would say, if you are an aspiring coach or newly certified coach. What does that tell you? Aspiring means you want to be a coach, but you're not a coach. Newly certified means you just got certification to be a coach, but now you need to learn how to do the business. Because when you get certification, they just teach you the method of coaching. My job is not to teach you the method of coaching. My job is to teach you the business of coaching. Because as a coach, you wear two hats. You have the coaching hat, you have the entrepreneurship hat. Many people focus on the coaching, the content, I will help you with content. I will help you create that stuff. But I am leaning on you to have the expertise to get the job done. What is it that you need from me is what? Create your ideal client. Identify your ideal client, create your offer, which is your products and services, your client enrollment, which is a client acquisition, right? And then how to run the program. Those are the 4 elements that I will focus to help you grow. And then when you get to a certain cash flow, consistency, then you can scale. If you're not making $10,000 consistently a month, there's no need to scale. You're wasting time and you're wasting money. Focus on getting consistency. Why is it $10,000? That is some industry number that has been around.
Yeah.
The significance with that was, my opinion, the average cost for the next step scaling program was $10,000. So the industry kind of put it out there because I want you to be able to afford my program, right? And you can't afford my program if you're not making at least $10,000. Because if you make $10,000, right, and you know that means you could afford it either the lump sum because you know you're gonna make it back the next month, or in that month that you work with me, I show you how to at least make 20, right? Or you could do the payment plan. That's my personal opinion, how they came up with that 10th. But it's real. If you can't be consistent with that, that means you're not ready to do anything else because your messaging still needs to be worked on. Because when you know you're ready to scale is when you're on autopilot. When people are coming to you, that's when you know you're ready to scale. Before then, you're not ready to scale. You're still trying to figure out your ideal client. You're still trying to figure out your offer. You're still trying to figure out your phrasing, your content. How are you putting out that information? So as a business coach element is, I would suggest that you really take a step back, right? And see, because can you be successful? Absolutely. But you can be successful with frustration and elongated time.
Yeah, that's true. That's a lot of gems. Because I'm thinking, I spend a lot of time afraid. Like and it's crazy because it's God speaking right now, because I went to a point where I put out my structure for my business in like this whimsical platform where you use graphs and flow charts to kind of like structure out your business. I did that, but then I went through like a season recently where I just restructured everything from my business strategies to the marketing strategies to everything to niche it down to like come up with my true goals right now. Then I got to my point of like the ideal customer, and I went through that, and it always failed along that, but I felt it was still too broad. That's true. You dropped major gems, man.
Yeah, that's definitely where you need to start investigating, and we could chop it up offline, because that's where a lot of it. Listen, I'm telling you, I started in 2019. It's 2024. I took a break in between because I went back to ministry, but I faced a lot of frustration. So I'm speaking from frustration. Yeah. I know how it feels to be shouting. Here I am. You got the big neon sign. I'm your coach.
Yeah.
Let's get
I know
it.
this, and I know you need it.
I see it.
Yeah.
But is he talking to me?
Yeah.
He can't be talking to me.
It's like they're like, me? Like, nah, I see what you're talking about. So, so what can you say to the coaches out there that either has that and they're working on scaling, or the people, your target market is the people who pretty much just got into it, right?
Yeah, but I have 2 levels, but yeah.
So what can you say to people in both levels right now? What is the thing that you need to work on in general?
If you're an aspiring coach, number one, hire a coach. That's number one.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you're an aspiring coach, you want to be a coach. You want to monetize an expertise. You want to turn your passion into a profit. You got to hire a coach. That's a whole mentality. Here's the thing. If you're not willing to hire a coach, how can you be in an industry that you're not willing to invest in yourself, that you're requiring people to invest in you? It's not going to work.
Yeah.
And another thing too, for you can, and this is a freebie, because when it comes to price structure, everybody's wondering, what should I price it, or how should I charge? You can't charge something that you've never paid for. I want that to settle for whoever's listening.
Yeah.
So if you never paid a coach $1,000, you can't charge that, because you don't know what that investment feels. You don't know what it feels like to take your credit card out and to swipe it and feel that lump in your stomach. Oh man, is this the right thing?
Yeah, I paid that. I paid for one coach. For all the different coaches, I can say I paid a lot of money for.
Oh no, it's facts.
From 8-week programs to 6-week programs to 6-month programs to year programs. Like I value coaches and mentors.
No, and so even with that, and I'm gonna say this: if you find yourself who paid for a coach and you didn't get the results, right, man? So that kind of makes you question: should I do it again? Man, that didn't work. I would say this: when you was first learning how to ride a bike, you fell off the bike. Did you stop riding the bike? Sometimes you're gonna fall into people that's just not right. It's not a right fit. But that does not mean you stop looking for a coach. That doesn't mean you never hire a coach again. That's like saying you church hurt.
Yeah.
I ain't never going back to another church.
I would say the coaches that I had gave me gems that transformed my life and my business.
That's awesome.
And I made money after, but it was all on me, on executing on
a
high level.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
Now, there are some things that you may buy. Like I will buy stuff. I spent thousands of dollars on coaches and courses. Yeah. I will buy stuff just to get content. I don't really need to talk to the coach. I just need to see what's your framework. I just want to see how you approached it. I don't need to talk to you, because that's not what I paid you for. I just want to see the product.
Same thing. I've done that before as a coach, and I was a bit hesitant at first, but then it's like, if I need to understand the market, the competition, things of that nature, to give myself a different angle, you have to do that.
You have to do it. And it's like, I bought a coaching. Literally, I signed up with a coach. I saw a coach that was very similar process or roadmap than the one I just signed up. I'm 3 months in. I bought the other coach. Why? I didn't really connect with that coach. Reason I bought that, because I connected. That KOT, know, like, and trust. I got introduced to this system, and I said, let me see what this is. And I bought it. Why would I double down on this for 3 months difference? Because I wanted to see. If I'm going to go down this road, I wanted to see a different approach. I'm all about saving time. I will pay to save time. Yeah. That's just me. Yeah. And if time is precious, that's one thing. That's a commodity you can never get back. Yeah. So if I could save 6 months, I'm going to save that 6 months. Yeah. If I could save 3 months, I'm going to save it. So I purchased that other program. I looked at it. I see, okay, that coach wasn't as detailed in this area, but he was more detailed in this area. So what did I do? I used both. I use both. I use the concepts of both, and I create my own. So the coach is a roadmap, but you don't have to, like, if you're a good coach, you just give them the play. But your personality is going to interpret that play that best fits you and best fits your clientele. And that's the benefit, because you're purchasing a roadmap when you hire a coach, a roadmap to help you. Then on the back end, I'm not sure what you provide on the back end, but that's when you could get to your passion. Because I still teach leadership, but I teach it on the back end after in my program. I don't sell leadership, but I teach it. Right. And that's something that you have to learn, that some people get caught up. But this is my passion. I want to do leadership. Yeah, but right. Is that going to pay the bills? Is that what can generate the income? Because you still could teach and coach your passion, but in the back end, because remember, you still have a holistic program. So if you're doing mindset, I'm pretty sure you can still introduce other things on the back end per your program. Yeah. That's going to still help that you know they need in order to be successful.
Yeah. And that's what the community is for, where I'm going to be having courses and things on there and calls where we teach about finance, credit, getting business funding, business structure, structuring it once you scale your business or you start your business, how to structure it the right way with trusts and things of that nature that I've learned for myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see what you're talking about with that. That's key. Mm-hmm. That's dope. So you mentioned that for a beginning and for the entrepreneur and for the business coach that's more advanced. So I usually ask these two questions to end off everything. What does success look like for you?
Oh man. Number one, success is relative, so I understand what you're saying. What does it look for me? Given perspective, success right now in this season of my life, success is healthiness. What does that mean? Health in mind, body, and soul. That's and the spirituality in that element there. This is a healthy relationship with God. I want my vertical relationship, my horizontal relationships to be healthy. Vertical is my relationship with God. My horizontal is my wife and my kids, and those who I'm connected with. A really good intentional relationship with them. And then the finances, it's continue to grow, in this season, I just turned 40. Well, not just turned, I'm 42 now.
You look young, man.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna get at you. I'm gonna get at you.
You know, second, third, I text my wife. I was at a networking event last night. Somebody was telling me I look 28. I said, word? Yes, I love it. I'm saying, I'm out here. I'm out here, baby. I'm out here.
Be careful.
Yeah, I'm out here. But it's this is the first time I had the mindset this is going to be the best decade of my life.
Oh.
I never used to think of it as decade. I used to think a year, maybe 6 months. When I turned 40, this is going to be the best decade. Now my mindset has changed how I think about life. I think a lot of times it has to be more long-term. Because in this microwavable society that we live in, we get caught up in overnight success, which it never exists. Your song could blow up, but guess what? You've been working in the lab on that song. You got to account for all that time. So it's really understand that every opportunity I get to grow, I want to grow. Me personally, me financially. So that's my level of success right now. Intentional living, health is wealth. Given what I experienced this year, I'm back in the gym heavy, eating right, going in the other direction, making sure I'm here so I could leave the legacy for my boys.
I like that. Oh, you said boys, so you have kids?
Yeah, 2 kids.
2 kids?
Yeah, 8 and 10. Well, soon to be 8. He's 7 right now.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. So you mentioned that that meaning of success for you. Now, what would you say is your framework and 5 steps to build that? Like if you were to say, hey, do this, you can have this level of success.
5 steps. For me as a person of faith, understand your relationship with God. Step number 1, establish a relationship with God. Number 1. Number 2, create a vision for your life. Got to be intentional.
Yeah.
And in that creating a vision, create a philosophy. What are your philosophies? What's your philosophy of life? For me, it's faith, family, finance, fitness, and philanthropy. Those are my 5 things, that area everywhere. They may look different in every season, but those are my 5 core philosophy things that I'm focusing on. So 1, establish relationship with Christ. Christ, not God, because everybody has a different God.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, the philosophy of life. And number 3 is execute. Take the steps to actually execute it. You got the plan. You wrote it down. You made it plain. Now execute it. In that execution, fail fast, fail forward.
Yeah.
Fail fast, fail forward. It is what it is.
It's all in the experiences.
It's all in the experience, right?
Yeah.
Then number 4 is be a part of that community. You have to find a community of like-minded individuals. Community save your life. So that community could be the church and or something on the business side. I will always advise 2 communities, your spiritual community and your professional community, because you got to be stimulated in both sides. You can't just focus on one and not the other. And then the 5th, remember the one. It's all about God. God, you can't do nothing without his grace. You can't do anything without his leading. So you start with God, you got to end with God. That's my 5.
I appreciate that, man.
Appreciate you having me, brother.
Coming on today, man.
Appreciate it, brother.
At the end of the day, my name is Olivier J. Darcis. I'm with my man Clinton. We're here. Well, before I end it off, how would people find you?
Dope, man. You can follow me. Very simple. All social, Clinton K. Powell.
Yeah.
That's IG, that's Facebook, that's TikTok, even Twitter, Clinton K. Powell. Very simple. Definitely reach out, connect with me. Amazing things happening in the business. I love to connect with entrepreneurs. I love to connect with speakers and coaches. Oh, as I mentioned, it goes down July 13th. That's One Voice Leadership Summit. It's going to be hosted at St. Thomas University. That's our venue sponsor. And we're calling everyone. If you're a speaker, you're a coach, you're an entrepreneur, and you need strategies, practical strategies. This is not a summit that you're just going to come and hear people. I tell people, bring your laptop, bring your tablet, because we're going to work things out. Yeah. We're talking about estate planning. We're talking about real estate and not just flipping houses. We teach you how to actually be the bank. That's a strategy that a lot of people don't know about. Yeah. How to be about the bank, but how to be the bank in the first position. Yeah. Right. So learning that element, so you tie to the asset, so you're secured. Then we're talking about different marketing strategies. We're gonna talk about ChatGPT because y'all still sleep. We're gonna give you some tools that it can really transform your business. And of course, leadership is gonna be there because at the end of the day, this is the #1 summit for speakers, for coaches and entrepreneurs, and we're here to build faith, wealth, and community. So check us out. OneVoiceSummit.com. You can check us out, get the tickets there.
Amen. And we're here helping you do to do life well. Peace. Wait, before you go, make sure you hit the subscribe button and check out the video that you think is the best for you. Or is it check out the video and hit the subscribe button? Man, you know what I'm trying to do. Peace.